Mariam, I want to talk about LinkedIn and growth on LinkedIn because you've grown very fast in a very short space of time. And as an initial question, what's caused that?
Yeah, because I've been posting for a while, right? But then the second I had strategy in place, that's when the growth started. So I was like, yes, it's working, because it was all pre-planned. It was not a surprise or a coincidence. But I remember like I started posting just like free resources, a lot of free resources, and just sharing my story and experience of like, this is what I've been doing and this is what happened by doing this. This is how I did it and this is how you can do it too. So sharing like actionable advice based on my experience. That's how I started. Then I started sharing free resources, like exactly how to do things. And then I remember my first viral post was about me being a young professional in a world where sometimes we get judged for it or a bit left behind because of, oh, you're too young for this, or you don't know anything, you don't have enough experience. And I think that resonated with a wider audience. And that post got me like 3,000 followers overnight.
Wow.
And I think that was my first like breakthrough post, because that one was like, it was more of my personal story, but it also resonated with not just like people that are young, but also older part. And they were like, you know what, it's not easier on our side either. So it was very like directed at two different targets. But I don't think that's the best approach. I'm not saying it is, but just being really consistent with it afterwards. And every post had a meaning. Like there was always a purpose. Like it's either just me sharing my own ideas or my personal story and finding others to connect with on a more personal level, or I'm teaching you something that I've done that can help you too. And one thing I've changed that has made all the difference was that I started speaking to one single person. So every time I would write a post or write anything at all, I stopped thinking of it as an audience, because when we write on social media, it feels like, okay, you have, let's say, 100 followers and you're speaking to 100 people. No, it's always one single person reading it. So that's what I changed. I started writing in my mind of like, the ideal reader is reading this post. So how do I touch them with it? How do I speak to them directly? And that's what changed in my strategy, really. And that's what really helped me grow. And yeah, that's number one thing. And my number one tip as well.
I always like that approach because it works not just for like LinkedIn to some degree, but it works for like a lot of different types of businesses, because a lot of the time people think that you have to sort of cater to everyone. And I feel like the more specialized and niche and focused you go, you know, it goes further, because you are talking to one specific type of person. They have the same sort of persona to some degree. And if you make your posts or your product or your service too general, it doesn't cater to anyone. That's the sort of paradox.
I feel like for me, it has been also a little hard to like niche down. But when I say like I'm speaking to one single person directly, it's like whoever shares my pain points. And then that can be someone that's different personas, but it's always great to niche down. I do agree with that. But I'm struggling to do that as well, actually. Like I'm trying to niche down more, but then at the same time, I resonate with so many different types of people trying to grow on LinkedIn. So in the end, I end up being a little bit more general with it as well. So yeah, it's tricky, but once you catch that little like golden line between, like
that was my next question actually, is like, how do you find that one person? Like what does that one person look like?
Yeah, I think there are two ways. So even though it's a great advice to say niche down, it is very bad advice if you're saying it to a beginner. So if somebody has not had any experience with working with any type of persons just yet, for them to straight away decide that this is the only person I'm going to target and start to niche down is very, very bad, because they have no experience. They don't even know if they like working with them, and they don't know if they're good at it. So my advice would be start very broad and general. Be very open-minded, get some experience, work with different like types of personas, different people, and then figure out which one is it that you enjoy the most, or which one do you see is coming to you the most. So that's when you start niching down, and that's when you decide, okay, now I'm going to strategically, specifically target this one person. But before then, it's kind of hard to say, oh, I'm just going to do that with no like background or experience within that. So always start wide and then go narrow.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, because otherwise you'd be hyper focused, but your hyper focus might be in the wrong place, and then it's very difficult to like deviate away from that. So yeah, I completely agree. What's been the key thing that's like fueled your growth, would you say? Would it be the certain type of post? Would it be consistency of posting? Would it be connecting with certain people? Would it be responding to comments? Like, what is the sort of one thing that's really fueled your growth?
There's no one thing. Like, there is no one thing. It's many things together. But if it was just one thing that I have to say, it would be just actually spending time on the platform, like really committing yourself to it. So there are two ways for you to grow. You either really put that time and spend on the platform, absorb it, live inside of it. Or if you don't have that time, pay someone else to help you sort of like achieve that. So what I did was just genuinely, I was obsessed with LinkedIn. Like, I've spent more time on LinkedIn than scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, which is supposed to be more addictive, but LinkedIn is no less addictive than any other social media platforms. But I used to spend so much time on there. Like, I would craft my thought and like my heart into every post I would put up. But then once I would do that, then I would start looking at comments, always responding to others, seeing what else they posted so I could engage. So it's a whole circle. There's no one single thing that I can tell you that works and that's it. It's just like really being on there, like just be active, just be present. And that's how you achieve that, really, because I've posted almost every single day since last August. That's when I started. So like strategically, I started last August.
So almost, well, no, it has been a year of just posting every day.
There was only 1 week I didn't post, which was a few months ago. And I had people text me like, is everything okay? Because you see, like, I'm always there. Like, they feel my presence. And when I wasn't there only once that happened for a week, they were like even starting to look for me. People that I don't even know, people that have nothing, like you know. But yeah, they started checking in on me. That's how much I'm present in their minds as well. So that's how you achieve it, really. And consistency is big. Yeah.
But Mariam, so I know that loads of people listening know the value of LinkedIn. Yeah. They know it's one of the biggest platforms in the world. They know the sort of people that live on LinkedIn. But the biggest reason why people don't post is because they say, you know, I don't have the time, or I'm focusing on other initiatives, or, you know, they're focusing on different projects. What do you say to those sorts of people?
Is that advice for you?
It's advice. Yeah, it's advice for me, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm joking, but you either make time or you miss out, or you pay someone to do it for you. That's the only options there. But just if you have 5 minutes every week, even that can make the difference, you know, like even if you don't post, but if you spend just 5 minutes, 10 minutes scrolling every week, and if you find something genuinely interesting that you really want to interact with, not on purpose because you have to, but genuinely feel like you could and you would like to, then just make a comment. That helps you grow already. So it's better than doing zero, you know, and it's the effort that counts. And just by little, you will build. It will just take longer. But if you have no other choice and you just don't have like time for it, and you cannot like involve someone else in the works for now, then yeah, just minimal efforts, do 0.1% every day, you know.
So given, I mean, you posted every day for a year pretty much. But you're saying even if you don't post every day, you can still get good results.
Yes. Yeah. I think posting boosts you. Like, posting gives you way better advantage because that's how you build your trust. But if you just want to network and build familiarity without posting, you can just interact with other people's posts. And it's a great way to start as well, to be honest, if you're a complete newbie. And I know that sometimes people feel like, oh, but I have nothing to say, or like, I'm not an expert, I cannot talk about this, but it's way more than that. Like, it's about your personal experience, and you will be surprised to find out how many people resonate with it and how many people share it with you. So you can start from there, but if you don't want to post and you are not ready for that yet, just interact with others. Find people that are interesting for you.